Hey, in this video I just want to walk through the new Red Scientific companion software and show you some of the exciting features that the newest version has to offer. So what you're seeing here is actually the new software. It supports video capture, not audio yet, but will in a version forthcoming. And then it supports multiple devices, which is exciting, multiple cameras, new languages, better flagging, better experimental control. So I just kind of want to walk through this and show you these exciting new features. Up in the upper left, we have our menus, File, Setting, and Help. Of course, Exit leaves the program. Open Last Save Location. That's a shortcut that quickly allows you to jump to the folder where your data are being saved. We'll use that in a minute. We have the ability now to use cameras. If I untoggle Use Cameras, the camera I had vanishes. We can toggle it back on, and the camera starts back up. It takes a little bit of an initialization process, but it'll show up here in just a minute. It supports several cameras, so we can support 2, 3, 4 cameras. It really just depends on bandwidth limitations with the USB connection and the processing power of your computer. So that's pretty exciting. Also supports multiple devices, so you could plug in several pair of occlusion goggles, several DRT devices. You could mix and match, GPS, whatever you choose. And it simultaneously records those data and puts them in a log file for simple analysis. We now support 5 different languages, English. You can kind of see all the language here. When you change the languages, it also changes the languages in the plots and in the output files. So it changes languages throughout the program. There's debugging now. This is mostly for us. We'll put that on normal debugging mode. Close that, and I'm going to relaunch it here. Debugging helps us to make sure that the software works for you, helps us to identify problems. A little bit of information here about, check for updates in the software, information about Red Scientific. Tells you a little bit about tooltips, generally how to navigate the user interface. When we go to create an experiment, the first thing we do here is click Create. We navigate to the folder we're interested in. In this case, this looks like a good folder called New. I'm going to select that folder. We can type in an experiment name and experiment, and we can hit play. We're now collecting data. So as soon as we begin an experiment, it starts recording the video data, and as soon as we hit play, it starts collecting data on the devices. In this case, I have a pair of occlusion goggles plugged in, so as soon as I hit play, the goggles start cycling. Well, actually, in this case, they don't cycle because they're set up in a different mode, but they open up and start recording data. Okay? So we can hit pause there. I'm going to change the setting on these occlusion goggles so that we can see what a data output file looks like. So here they're cycling. This is the NHTSA standard cycling protocol, which is 1,500 milliseconds open, 1,500 milliseconds closed. So 1.5 seconds open, 1.5 seconds closed. Hit pause. During the collection of data, we can also enter key flags. So key flags are, once entered, they're then associated with the data that come from devices, and I can show you how that works. Key flags also show up, of course, in the video overlays here. We can also enter a note. A note was posted by me. Post a note. You can change window layouts. All sorts of options here. Minimize some windows. We tile. If we click on a window and hit tiled, that window then goes to position 1. So we can arrange it how we like. When we close out the user interface, it'll reopen in the exact same window configuration that it was left in, so that's nice. Some information here about the block and current time, experiment time, etc. And we have some storage information which comes in handy when we're recording video, which we are here. So this will gradually fill up my hard drive. Depending on the size of your hard drive, mine's pretty big. This could fill it pretty fast, especially if you have several cameras going and you're really cranking. So that's an important to keep an eye on that in some cases. Okay. So that's generally the layout. Not too complicated, makes it pretty simple to collect data. That's really the goal here. So let's go ahead and end this experiment. Take a look at what the files look like. So you can see just how easy this is. So here's the output file for the visual occlusion goggles, comma-separated values. Looks exactly the same for the DRT device or any of the other devices that we sell. This makes it very easy to copy and paste this into, say, Excel or somewhere else, and you can get a nice file that's delimited like this, and then you can sort on different events. So here we have a start experiment event, a start block event. Here's an end experiment event in this case. And here we also have some VOG events or occlusion goggles events. I'm going to go ahead and paste the data that we just collected in here. So you can see we have a note event down here. So a note was posted, and it gives the precise time when that note was posted. Whenever an event occurs, the software assigns it a timestamp, and that's just saved in the CSV file. Makes it very easy to quickly analyze these data and determine things like total shutter open time for occlusion, total task time, reaction time for DRT, longitude, latitude, speed, etc. for the GPS. So it makes it very easy to kind of sort through this and take a quick look at these data. Also, we get the video, so just so you can kind of see, here's video of me describing this study. At some point, I enter an experiment, and that's flagged up here. The key flag doesn't show up until a little bit later, but eventually we'll see that pop up here when I demonstrate that. Show you the goggles, all this should up, and there's the key flag. So we get a timestamp in the video that's down to the millisecond, so you can go through this frame by frame, determine sort of the interframe timing, and see exactly what's going on with your experiment through the video with the associated experiment name, frames per second, key flags, and whether or not an experiment's being run. So a lot of options there. It makes for a very powerful tool, especially with all of the synchronized video. Didn't show you, but I was also collecting another camera. This camera's a bit shaky because the camera's an old one. But while I was talking, I had another camera that's kind of pointed down on my keyboard. Not a lot going on there. There was the occlusion goggles that I picked up, but you get the idea. You can put as many cameras as you want and collect some good data there. All right, so we're excited to get this out in the wild. Excited to see how people use it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Contact Joel at redscientific.com. My phone number here in the United States is 1-801-520-5408. Send me a text, give me a call. I'm happy to help out in any way I can. Thanks so much.